Guys, we're back again, and this time we're going to continue our reviews featuring more of the MFT figures. So we have right here, it says there, Shadow. So it's MFT's number 44 right there. You can see that. And it says there, MFT. Try to focus on that thing right there. Okay, MFT, Mech Fans Toys. We're back trying to catch up on all the missed MFT items that I've didn't get last year, a few months ago, or several months ago actually. So this one is actually something that I didn't really see here. I know some stores in Green Hills launched and had this around, but when I was going to my regular hunts in Divisoria and what do you call this, 999 and 168, I didn't really see them. So I had my friend PJ have this brought in from Malaysia. So thank you very much, PJ. Shout out to you. And this is what we're going to check out. So it says there's Shadow Warrior. So it just really says Shadow here, but I guess all these little Japanese characters would say Shadow Warrior. And as you can see, that's no other than SkyShadow from the Transformers Victory. So if you're familiar with the G1 Japanese version, you'd know that SkyShadow was part of that line right there from the Transformers Victory, and they had a very catchy tune. So it has that really catchy. Go ahead and watch it. It's on YouTube. So they have a very catchy tune. Very nice artwork right there. I think that's very IDW. So somebody borrowed that again. Really nice product shots, Japanese characters, really nice jet mode, and that's it. So that's what we get for the box. So let's just throw the box away. So this wasn't really brand new. I think somebody owned this when my friend got it from Malaysia, but it's still pretty much pristine. It's in very pristine condition. So whoever had this, hello my Malaysian friends, thank you very much for giving this to me. So it is just really fantastic. I mean, right now my camera is not doing justice to the lighting and the color of this figure. I mean, the brightness of that incandescent red, that clear red, is just really amazing. The metallic red on the chest, the silver, everything was, the face sculpt even. Let's take a look at that. That is just great. So I know this is a knockoff of another DX. No, if not DX9, this is Iron Factory. So again, you can just put that in the comments and try to tell me if I got that right, because MFT is just really notorious for knocking off things from what do you call this, Iron Factory and DX9, and they make it bigger and they upscale the whole thing. So this one looks great. Let's check it out. It has these blasters. So the blasters look fantastic. I love what they're doing with the clear plastic again. It's not doing any justice. I'm trying to focus on it. Come on, focus. Come on, man. Just can't do it. It just can't do it. I don't know. There you go. There. So it's really good. You can see the sculpt right there. Really cool. And yeah, so two of these little babies. And let's take a look at the back so you can see that right there. Really nice looking canopy. Articulation, he has enough articulation like that. Move it like so. You can't really, oh, you can, but it sometimes this thing you have to fold that right there. So there you have it. Pretty cool stuff. I love the face sculpt. This one can go, for the leg articulation, it can go all the way there, and it can all go all the way like that, but it can't move enough because, again, there's so much back kibble going on. It has thigh swivels, it can bend, and it has ankle tilts. So it is a pretty posable figure right there. So there you have it. Pretty cool stuff. Now we're gonna transform him in a bit, but comparing him right away to my Takara Deluxe SkyShadow, you would see that he is not far from the size of it. So he's almost deluxe, and this is supposed to be legend size. So that is just really a bang for your buck. I mean, that is amazing. Look at that. Very similar design, although the head sculpt on this is a little more sinister looking. The Takara one, it has some light up, what do you call this gimmick? The clear tubing for the eyes. Could have been really incorporated in the MFT one too. That would have been fantastic. But they don't really have a lot of differences. So this is your Takara, this is your MFT. The size wise it's pretty cool. We'll get them in jet mode later on. We'll try to compare that. But of course, let's bring in their bigger scale version, the Legends class, the Deluxe class, and of course you have the leader class from the Titan's Return. So you have what do you call their SkyShadow and his Headmaster kind of mode. So we're going to also have that compared. So right now I'm gonna pause the video. Well, if you're asking what comes along with this, with the box, nothing. It didn't come along with any extra figures or Dionauts or any of those exosuits that you get. It's just really the toy, and that was pretty much it. It had a manual, but I can't find the manual, so too bad. But overall, if you take a look at them, all three of them, they look fantastic together. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause the video, have a comparison between all vehicle modes. So let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode. Now before that, like what I told you, this thing is really posable. He has really good articulation. You can make a lot of dynamic poses with him. Another thing that I forgot to tell you is that you can either have the blasters or the rifles be held by his arms, his hands, or you can put it on his arm like a null ray cannon. So you can see we have him in this very nice dynamic little pose right here. His wrist can actually rotate, so you can angle that. So it's pretty cool, and you can have his head move around. So it's a really cool toy. Anyway, so let's get these rifles out of the way, and let's get this guy transformed. So he's pretty easy to transform. You can either do a top half transformation or a bottom half transformation, but I like to do it this way. So I just really turn the head around, and I bring this chest piece up so that it could secure the head in place. Next thing that you want to do is just bring this whole wing assembly up like so, and just bring the canopy in that angle. And then you would see that there's this little tail thingy right there. So just put that right down, and just bring the whole canopy assembly like so. And then just flip out these tiny wings that you have right there. So you're actually almost halfway through. He is a pretty fun thing to transform. So once you have his shoulder cannons aligned in front, the next thing you want to do is just bring this whole arm section facing this peg up. So just do that same thing over here, and you'll know more about that later. Now remember that I told you that he has thigh swivels, so you can actually rotate that 360. There you go. And the next thing you want to do is just really fold the toes like so. Okay, and then just angle them. And these are double jointed, so if you do that, you'd see that you can see there's another joint section right there. Now there are holes on his knee brace that you can actually put here on this peg, so you have to just really clip that there, clips on, and same goes with the other. Just try to bring the double jointed section, And now that you see that little tail thing, just seems to be like a filler for the gap between the legs. So just a leg filler. And then just angle the thrusters like so. So you're pretty much halfway, you're done. You just have to bring this here and bring this down, so you can either have him look like that, like a really fancy winged jet, but the real transformation is you have to push this in. And now remember that peg that I was talking about over here? It would peg into this little section that you have, this hole right here. Just can't see it there. And you just have to lock it in place with this top half. I'm trying to do that now. Again, whoever owned this most likely never transformed it, because it's still super tight. Man, it is just like crazy MFT tightness that you got right there. So notorious characteristic from MFT toys is that they're super duper tight. You don't know sometimes if you're transforming it correctly, or you're breaking it, or you might be cracking a piece. So now it is pretty much secured. So you can see the undercarriage, it looks pretty flush. I like the engineering on this thing. Last piece of the puzzle, bring out the tail fins. Oh man, that's tight. I thought I'd break it. So that is an amazing looking fighter plane right there. Looks like a stealth bomber. So we will put this thing over here. Either you put it at the side. I like to put it here. There you go. Gives more width. Like it has like a really wide body, like an F-22 Raptor. Or some people in the manual and the box would say that you place it under the wings, like that. Which honestly, I'm not a big fan. You know, I'm not a big fan of that. But that's how the whole thing works. You know, even in the Takara version, that's how it works. So there's a landing gear of some sort that you could pull out, and I'm guessing these things are the makeshift wheels so that you can land it like that. There you go. And I'm telling you, it looks great. That is one great looking fighter plane. It is fantastic. I love the color. I don't know how many times I've said that now in this video, but the color just really bites me. It is red, it is black, it is just screaming Decepticon. It is notoriously evil. That is just amazing. Amazing. So we're going to do a size comparison with the other jet modes of these guys. So we're going to start talking about this guy right here. So I told you you could transform him into that funky looking winged jet. I love doing that with this guy. But comparing him to this, so this is the Takara version. I don't know, man. I'm going with the MFT. I love the Takara version. This is one of my first SkyShadows ever, and I just love the color scheme. Red, yellow, white, black. Super awesome. But the sharpness and the detail that MFT has brought is just really super cool. Now, the only thing that I wish MFT did is that they had this little drone thing, because it's a nod to what do you call this, the toy, the G1 toy, because we all know that SkyShadow was what do you call this, pretender that had like a shell, and then the shell transforms into a robot, and then the inner robot turns into a jet, and then they combine. So that was the gimmick there, and we don't have that here. So it could have been really much cooler if we had that same kind of effect. So there you have it. Really cool side-by-side comparison with the two jets. Now, this is a far take on SkyShadow, so I'm not even going to compare the two against this because this is just way crazy. So you all know that SkyShadow was never what do you call this, molded like Overlord, but I just love this thing too. I love what Hasbro did here. This is just over the top craziness, and it's like Sky Cheyenne. I was so happy when I got this. I remember like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I got this baby. This was just like my favorite. So they look great. They just really look great. So this is again the Takara version. As you can see, the transformation was not really far different. So DX9 or Iron Factory copied that same dynamic, almost the same dynamics with the engineering. And of course, our boys from MFT did pretty much the same as well. And let's lift this out here. Let's get this little tractor tread and come take a look at them together. That's a nice looking Decepticon squadron, if you ask me. That is just fantastic. So we're gonna have our final say about the toy. We're gonna transform him back to robot mode, and we'll be right back. We have him transformed back to his robot mode, and like what I said, I think SkyShadow or Sky Warrior from MFT looks just really amazing. I think they did a fantastic job with getting this with their own MFT rendition, or giving it their own MFT rendition. So before we go, let's have him compared to his other Japanese Transformers, the Japanese MFT G1 versions of Six Shot, and let's put Overlord right there. So let's put these guys right here. And wide shot, okay. And as you can see, they look great together. So these Japanese Decepticons, these Destrons, Legend size, all coming from MFT, looks amazing. They look amazing. They just look, all of these things, they look amazing. I'm just gonna put one more right here because he's a little dusty, but you know, technically he's the boss of the Decepticons. So this is also a Legend size figure. That's Galvatron, but he looks very small compared to the other versions of MFT's Legend size G1, Japanese G1 Decepticons. So that's already given, but I like their size. They're very deluxe. And again, if you can find Sky Warrior, if you can find SkyShadow here in the Philippines, I would definitely recommend him. I'd like you guys to find him. If there would still be anyone selling it, you know, it's a good figure to add to your Legends class collection. It's too bad that I don't see him around anymore, that I had to get him from Malaysia, but he was roughly around 1,000 pesos converted to Malaysian ringgit, but it's around that much. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic take with a modern take on SkyShadow. So thank you again for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, please like the channel. I appreciate all of the people that have been subscribing, and special shout out to a little kid named what do you call this, Kyle Melano. So shout out to you. Thank you very much for watching. I heard from your mom that you've watched pretty much all my videos, so thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So I am very happy that you like the channel, and I hope that you could continue subscribing and watching them. So thank you very much, guys. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. My name is Chompilo, and remember, rock on till all are one. Peace out.